We are refugee rights activists and socialists living in Sydney, Australia. We take enormous inspiration from the protests happening across Europe, including Turkey, this Saturday, the 16th of March. We're part of a global movement, building resistance against the far right and the centre right who are whipping up racism and anti-refugee sentiment. Governments around the world use racism to divert attention from their failure to meet the basic material, educational and health needs of the people. We know that Turkey has taken some 3.5 million refugees from Syria alone, but we also see that Erdogan has built a wall with his southern border with Syria and is trying to send them back. In March 2016, Erdogan also cynically signed a deal with the EU to stop the flow of refugees into Europe. In early February this year, it was inspiring to see pro-refugee activists from Greece and Turkey protesting on either side of the dangerous Evros River crossing against the militarisation of the border and the arrest of asylum seekers trying to make their way into Europe. Here in Australia, we've been fighting the policies of mandatory detention and deterrence for almost 2 decades. This Saturday in Melbourne, our comrades have called to Melbourne as part of M16 against the racism that right-wing politicians and media commentators have stirred up over fear of, quote, African gangs. And on Sunday, the 14th of April, protests will happen in every major city across Australia to say yes to refugees. We will be demanding that all those refugees who remain on the offshore islands of Nauru and Manus Island are brought to Australia, and that they and the hundreds who've already been medically evacuated here be given the right to permanent protection. We are very aware that the far right across Europe has taken inspiration from Australia's draconian anti-racism and border protection policies. We therefore feel an added responsibility here. If we can build a movement strong enough to force a shift in Australia's policies, it can have consequences well beyond our region. We wish you all the best for your M16 Day of Action, both for this conference and for your protest later today.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome here.
Say it loud, say it clear.
Refugees are welcome.